Hello, a very good evening ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel, TR Dental DK. As you all know, my name is Dr. Thuba and my main aim to this channel is to guide all the medical professionals, skilled professionals who would like to consider other countries as an option to work in or to get education. So today we're going to talk about yet another country in Europe which, just like as previously mentioned, Finland and Denmark, it is also providing endless opportunities for education and encouraging international students to move to this country. And of course, we're talking about Germany. So just to recap, just like Denmark and Finland, the good thing about Germany is right after you are done with your master's or your bachelor's, Germany is actually providing a PSW, which is post-study work visa. You would get an extra 2 to 3 years after, which can be extended. And of course, that would maximize your chances of settlement in Germany as well. So now Germany is actually providing two main courses, of course. They're bachelor programs and they are master's programs. So we're going to cover more of masters because majority of the people who message me are done with their bachelors. So they would like to know about the masters. But of course, bachelors is also a great opportunity for those who have done their A-levels, GCSEs, etc. So let's start now. Now, for masters and for bachelors, what are the main requirements? The main requirements for bachelors is that you at least need 13 years of education from a recognized institution of your country, in your country, and for masters you need approximately 13 years of education. So, and that has to be, of course, the certificates and everything, they have to be proven. So this is the first thing you have, that is a requirement. Now, other than that, the main requirement is, of course, the IELTS. You have to prove that you can speak English, write in English, etc. So IELTS is very important. In some universities, yeah, you can actually, get a letter from your institute, from your country that states that your education was in English, but I still recommend IELTS because one way or the other, you would require to take the IELTS someday. So it's better to just get done with it as soon as possible. And of course, the band for the IELTS is 6 above. Some universities require 6, some require 6.5. So it is better to aim as high as you can. And of course, I've made a video as well with one of my colleagues that aimed a very high score for the IELTS, and of course he has all the tricks and tips he talks about in that video. So do check out that video for the IELTS as well. So with that, if you're doing masters, there's some of the additional things that you need is, number one, you need a motivation letter other than the IELTS, and of course motivation letter is also for the bachelors. And with that, you need a letter of recommendation. Now, a letter of recommendation can be from your workplace, from your boss, from your professor. It could be from any of the following. And of course, if you have 2 letters, it's going to be more of a benefit. So just to recap, you need, for masters, you need 16 years, you need approximately, 16 years of education to get enrolled in a master's program in Germany. You need the IELTS certificate, 6 to 6.5 above. You need a letter of recommendation, 1 to 2 letters. You need a letter of a purpose of motivational letter. Why do you want to get enrolled in this program? And the last thing, if you're doing masters, you also need a CV. You need to submit your CV. So these are some of the prerequisite documentation. And when it comes to bachelors, it's more or less the same. You don't really need a CV. You need to give your A-levels, GCSE certificates, etc. It's more or less the same. The only difference is that, of course, you don't have to give a CV, and for the bachelor program, of course, it's 13 years of education, so it's a little less. So these are some of the main documents for bachelors and masters. Other than that, of course, we've talked about all the other usual documentation you need to get enrolled in any university. For example, your GCSEs, your A-levels, transcripts, etc., which of course will be mentioned right now as well on the screen. So we're done with the basics now. Now, once we're done with the basics, let's talk about let's talk further about the programs of when do you have to get enrolled. Now, Germany is offering 2 programs. One is a session which is in the winters, which is around October, and one is the summer session, which is around April. So that depends upon you, which one would you like to get enrolled in. And of course, you have to start collecting the documentation months before that. So that was all of what do you need for the, what documentation you need. Now let's talk about attestations. Now, for international students, when it comes to Germany, the thing I've seen is that they need more attestations and different kinds of attestations. So sometimes some universities will require you to attest to get attestations from your from the education institute of your country. Like for example, my country is the HSC. Other than that, some documents require a notary public attestation. And if you have A-levels GCSEs, they might require attestation from the British Council. So these are some different attestations you have to be mentally prepared about, that they would ask you to get attested from one of the following or all of them. All right, one of the things to mention is that, that I forgot to mention previously, I'm sorry, is the programs are in English and they're also in German language. So of course, preferably for many of the engineers and other skilled people out there, you can choose English and get that, of course. But for some of the medical lines, the medical professionals out there, there might not be an English program, so you might have to do the program in German. So for that, what you have to do is that from your own home country, you have to learn the language and at least pass the language till the level of B1 to C1. And some universities require till B1, some require till C1. So just to be on the safe side, let's do it C1 level. And after the C1, once you're done with that, you have to provide evidence that from your country you have completed language till the German language till the C1 level, and submit the documentation. So this is one small prerequisite that I forgot to, mention previously. So we are done with that as well. Now let's talk about how to get admission, how to select the universities. So it's very easy. So there is actually a website. You have to go there. It is mentioned right below my video as well. It is start.de. Yes, start.de, and over there it's very easy because it's actually, of course, you can translate back. It is available as an English option as well. And once you go there, you have to select the program or what interests you have: masters, bachelors, what program, computer sciences, medicine, etc. And then you would get a bunch of options and the universities along with it to choose from. Of course, from there you can very easily shortlist them. There are endless opportunities, because I saw that website and there are so many opportunities that would be too many to even discuss in this video. So do check that website out for yourself. And then, of course, with arrange all the documentation that is needed. It is better to enroll yourself in more than one program, so that, of course, like I always said, there should always be a backup option. So once you have decided, all the documentation is ready according to what program you want to go to, you are more or less good to go with all the processing. So this is actually the procedure of if you would like to get education from Germany. And of course, after that, like I said, with the PSW, you would get extended stay, and that will maximize your chances for settlement there. Now, talking about the fees, unfortunately, it's not really free for international students, but they do provide scholarships as well, which I would cover later. And other than that, if you approximately see the fees, that would be approximately between 6,000 euros to 16 or 20,000 euros, within that range when it comes to bachelors or masters. And of course, you would be given permission to work as well and do various jobs, and that would also be better financially for all of you out there. So this is the video regarding Germany. I really hope that the video helped. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me, preferably on Instagram, on my Gmail, and I will reply you as soon as I can. So good luck once again to everybody, and take care of yourselves. Thank you very much.